So I'm in the middle of the gym. I'm in the middle of doing a set, and this song comes on in my ears. And when I say that this song gripped me, and this song held on to me, and I felt a rush of emotion, honestly, I listened to the same song about 10 times. Then I listened to another one. Then I listened to another one. This band I'd never heard of before. Some of the best music I'd ever even heard in my life. And I thought, this is amazing. These guys, where have these guys been all my life? Really, really got into them. I then Googled them and I felt betrayed. I Googled them to see when they were touring. There was no information of a tour. I Googled them to see what this band looked like. There was no photos of them. I went on their Instagram and their social page to borderline stalking at this point, just to try and get more information on them because I really wanted to see them live and see this performance live. It was an AI band. It wasn't even real. Suddenly, that amazing music, which I'd listened to, it felt worthless. It felt terrible. And I felt cheated by the fact that I'd been lured into something, believing that it was real, believing that people had sat there and created this masterpiece of music, and it was all a lie. So when you are thinking about using AI for your books, when you are worried about AI taking over publishing, you don't need to worry very, very much because if the music experience is anything to go off, then as soon as people find out that it's AI, they're going to stop reading your work. And you need to be conscious of that. Now, am I saying that you can just write utter slop? No, because unfortunately, AI now has raised the bar. Because if a robot can write a story, you need to write a better story. But a robot can write a story from A to B with maybe some bits in between. But there's something which AI has now given us an advantage of. And that is, it has never been easier to be a successful writer simply by being yourself. The thing what is happening online now is everyone's getting sick of seeing so much AI stuff, not just in the publishing industry, or the music industry, but when it comes to people writing captions on their posts on social media, when it comes to somebody creating a graphic for social media, not only can you quickly tell that AI have done it, therefore you don't feel as connected with the creator. The social media platforms are now putting tags on these posts because they can detect that AI has been used. So not only can you see that the creator has not gone through the effort to create a proper graphic for you to enjoy and for you to consume, they've also now been called out by the social media platform anyway for using AI. So AI generated content, AI generated books, AI generated music. It certainly has raised the bar, but it hasn't fulfilled that thing that reason why people want to connect with somebody else creatively. And that thing is human connection. And there's a couple of things with that. Firstly, people don't buy the product, they buy the person. Why do people love Harry Potter so much? Why do people love J.K. Rowling so much? If Harry Potter or Stephen King, for example, wrote the same books, but they were done by a robot, by an AI, do you think they'd have been as successful? Do you think theme parks would have been built for them? Do you think movies would have been made off the back of them? No. The reason why these people get such huge, huge fan followings and masses of success is one, they are talented at what they do. They can craft a fantastic story and a fantastic series. But two, they are real people. You can see them on interviews. You can get signed copies of them. You can listen to their voice. You can see their face. You know that it's a real person living somewhere in the world who is sitting there creating this. If I got a signed copy of an AI off their website, that would be very different, which has been mass produced. That would be very different to me ordering a signed copy of Stephen King or somebody ordering one of my books, a signed copy off my website, and seeing that signature there. Because that means that that person, that writer, even if just for a few minutes or a couple of seconds, has spent time touching that piece of paper, has spent time crafting that signature for you. And this is something this is something what we love when we get creativity and we get authenticity. Is it's a human connection on the other side of the song, a human connection on the other side of that reel or that graphic, or a human connection on the other side of that book. And that's one thing AI will never be able to take over, is that human emotion. Plus, the very essence of creating art, the best art comes from pain. The best breakup songs have been written by somebody whose heart was bleeding. The best scenes, the best character arcs in a book have been written by somebody who was probably going through some bad shit. I know from my own experience when I write stories, I try to convey my own fears and my own worries, maybe something happening to my family, maybe a fear what I have, and then that comes through the writing, that comes through the character and through the story arc. A robot may be able to write a compelling love scene. It may be able to write that, but it will not be authentic. And as soon as you find out that it's an AI, as soon as you find out that it's a robot that has written that, suddenly it loses all meaning. It stops being three-dimensional, it becomes very two-dimensional. Plus, someone could put in the same AI prompt into a computer, into an AI chatbot, and they can regurgitate the exact same scene in the exact same way. A human being writing a book is very different. They pull from their own pain, they pull from their own experience, and they spill it out onto the page. Whether you're reading a thriller, whether you're reading a horror book or a romance or whatever you're into, whatever you're writing, the best way to get ahead of AI is simply to be you. Don't use AI to write your books because you will destroy your reputation very quickly. Don't use AI to write scenes because you will destroy your own creativity. Writing is difficult. I've written over 2.5 million words, thousands of emails, thousands of ad copy for social media posts, thousands, around 18 books, 18, 19, but I'm currently 45,000 words into my current book in Cold Blood, which is coming in October, hopefully. Writing is difficult. People want to shortcut that difficult aspect of it. But anything which is worth having, anything which is worth having, anything which is difficult to attain, such as bestseller status, such as producing a book, is very, very hard. That's not to say don't use AI as a tool, maybe to do proofreading or maybe to brainstorm ideas, but there's a difference between using AI as a tool to support you than AI as a tool to do it for you. Because you are doing your own legs in, you're doing yourself in by having AI do that. It may seem easy, it may seem like the quick way to get ahead, but it is a very short-lived career. And if you want to be doing this for the rest of your life, so you don't have to go back to a bullshit 9 to 5 job, then using AI to do the heavy lifting will not only rob you of the immediate gratification of producing a book, which is incredible, it will also rid you of the creativity of being able to create a compelling story which people resonate with as it's told through a human being. And it will also mean that your career is very short-lived and people will see you as a fraud. One more point on AI. It may be worth intentionally leaving a grammar error or a spelling mistake inside an email, inside a book, inside a piece of copy for a social media post. We are so used to now seeing AI writing. It has a specific cadence. It has a specific way of wording things. It likes to have the middle ground. It doesn't want to be too extreme or too weak. It likes to be safe because AI draws from the internet. It draws from all different views and then picks the most safest option. Basically, does the medium opinion of everything. So AI is very bland and very vanilla, which is another reason why you shouldn't use it to write compelling copy or compelling books. But because AI is so grammatically perfect to an extent, and AI spelling is so grammatically perfect, again to an extent, people are so used to it. And people know that an AI has written it. So it now may become an advantage to actually not to write something sloppy filled with typos and spelling errors, but maybe write something and maybe intentionally put in some kind of comma mistake or spelling mistake. Just maybe just one, maybe one or two, because that way the reader will know this is a human being that's written this. This is a human being who has sat there, spent time, and created something which I'm really, really enjoying. And that authenticity, that dedication, that realism, and that human connection is not something which an AI can create, but it's something that you can create starting right now. The best way to get ahead of AI is be you and be only you and be unapologetically you. If you enjoy this kind of content, you want to see more, make sure you subscribe on this channel. I take people from the concept of a book all the way up to building and living off their royalties and making a full-time career out of their writing, as I have been able to do. You have a great day. Thank you very much, and you take care.